lighting in this clip is going to be horrible regardless because lighting outside is horrible. Welcome to another weekly comic, manga, graphic novel, and manga reading vlog. I don't know what the hell I've been titling these. But I am exhausted, 1. 2, it is Thursday. We're not going to talk about it as Thursday, and I'm literally starting this on a Thursday. But I guess, we just covered Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It has been a very, very busy, stressful, and honestly, not so great week for me. It just hasn't been. It just has not been a great week. So, with that being said, because it's been a stressful, not so great, somewhat unpleasant week, I have not been reading as much as I typically read in terms of comics and graphic novels and manga. I haven't been reading a lot. It just hasn't happened, unfortunately. It just hasn't happened. So there's that. But I am in the middle of some stuff, so I would like to say that I am reading the graphic novel adaptation of the first Babysitter's Club book, which is Christy's Great Idea. So I did start that one last night, and I got about maybe 30-40 pages in, and I picked it up as soon as I had finished the actual full text book. And so I'm just kind of bouncing off as I finish the full book. I'll pick up the graphic novel, kind of like that type of situation. That's what I've been doing, and that's what I plan to do. And then I started reading Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know why. I guess because I had marked it as one of my favorites in the in the Shonen Jump app. I had marked it as one that I was interested in reading, and so I went ahead and started reading the first couple of chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen. I think I'm in the 3rd chapter of it, if I'm not mistaken. I may be in the 3rd chapter, but so that's the manga that I'm currently making through. I do have intentions to read the first 3 volumes of Spy Family between now and Saturday, because I want to do kind of a first impressions. Is Spy Family worth the hype? I have seen everybody read Spy Family. Everybody on BookTube reads Spy Family. Even the subgroup of BookTube have read Spy Family. And so there's that. So for instance, I have seen Christian booktubers reading Spy Family. And so it's just kind of a universal manga that I've been very hesitant to try because everybody seems to be enjoying it. And I feel like I'm going to be that one person, that outlier that's kind of no, this is not that good. So I've been really, really nervous to try it, but I own the first 3 volumes. I just want to go ahead and read it and kind of do a first impressions, or what do I want to say? A first impressions, or a kind of look at how I feel about it. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done today. I'm trying so hard to take a lunch break, but the way my meetings are kind of first of all, the amount of work, and then the way that my meetings have been kind of set up, it hasn't been great. It has not been great. And today, the way that my meetings are set up, I am going to try my hardest to take a lunch break because I have meetings literally all day today. And I don't think the way that they fall, I don't feel like I have that much of a gap for my lunch break, which is what's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but I'll figure it out. I just wanted to at least do some sort of intro clip to this vlog because I was it's Thursday and I haven't done an update, but I haven't done an update because I haven't been reading anything. So there's that. That's the thing about me, when it comes to vlogging, essentially, is that there are days or there are weeks where I feel like I have a more balanced schedule than others. So this week felt like a very imbalanced schedule, in the fact that I have been it's been so work meeting and just end of year type of, I don't want to say craziness, but just workload has been increased. And so I don't have as much time when I get home. I have been reading when I get home, but I also have been very strict on myself about my kind of my workout schedule. And so I've been working out every night, and by the time I'll come downstairs after I put the baby down, and I'll film. After I film, I'll work out, and then after I work out, I take a shower, and I'm kind of like, girl, I'm tired. So it's just been that kind of situation, and this week has been primarily like audiobooking, so we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens, but I'll do a check-in when I actually have something to offer. Hello. Listen, welcome to the vlog that never really was a vlog and didn't end up being a vlog. Listen, y'all, this is why weekly vlogs sometimes don't necessarily work in my favor, because I have so much stuff that happens during a week that I literally, and I just, sometimes I'm not able to complete the vlog the way that I want to complete the vlog. So with that being said, okay, this is probably going to be one of the shortest vlogs that I've done because of the fact that this past week was a very, very difficult week for me. Work-wise, it was very difficult. A couple of y'all who I talked to outside of this channel know that I had some major car issues. My daughter and I actually got stranded in a grocery store parking lot. I had to get the car towed to the dealership because my key was no longer working. It went into anti-theft mode, and because the key was no longer recognized, like programming wise, it was no longer recognized by my car, and so it shut, the whole system disabled, essentially is what I'm saying. And so now we have to get the car fixed, and we are without a vehicle, and it just has been an extremely stressful week for me. And yeah, it just has not been fun. What's wrong?
I can't build my castle.
Your castle looked good. The other one that you had, build the one that you just built. I thought it looked pretty. I'm talking about the little bit of things that I was able to read this week, because this week was just, it was difficult. So I know that I had talked a little bit about reading Christie's Great Idea, which I did start, but I never did end up finishing it. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm hoping to possibly finish that this week, and then, you know, if I finish that this week, hopefully it'll be in next week's vlog, but it's not going to be in this week's vlog because of course things. So I ended up reading 3 things in terms of graphic novels, comics, and manga. The first thing that I ended up reading was Something's Wrong with Us Volume 8. There's not much that I can really tell you about this one because of the fact that it is the 8th volume in the series, and we are diving deeper into kind of this new story arc which is taking place in the future. I'm really interested in something that happens at the end that is kind of signifying that there could be something possibly wrong with one of our characters that I was not anticipating. So I am looking forward to continuing it. I do have to put volume 9. I think I'm going to put volume 9 and 10 on hold because I think we're all the way up to volume 14. That looks really cute. I was doing sprints with... I was doing sprints with some of my patrons, and so I was able to make it through 2 things. I had kind of checked in with myself and realized I hadn't really read anything like DC and Marvel in a while, and like actual like DC Marvel like comics. Looks good, boo. And so I decided to pick up 2 things that I currently had checked out from the library. So I ended up reading Fantastic Four Full Force, which is done by Alex Ross. This is a work that is inspired by an original story by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. And so I was familiar with the story, but it just was a random story to choose. I think that this was primarily a way to showcase Alex Ross's work, to be honest with you, his artwork. And I do like his artwork. He's very, very detailed artist. but I was not a huge fan of the coloring at all times. So like for example, with this coloring, it feels very chaotic, which I think may have been the intention to feel chaotic, but it didn't always work for me, and sometimes it made it difficult to kind of discern like what exactly was going on in the panel. Like that to me is kind of hard with kind of the black light type of thing. It makes it kind of hard to discern what's happening with the Fantastic Four, although underneath the coloring you can see Alex Ross's like really beautiful artwork. This wasn't a powerful story for me. We literally are following the Fantastic Four as they deal with meeting some people as it relates to the antimatter universe, and it's very sciencey, which for me, I always forget that a lot of Fantastic Four is heavily science-based because of Reed Richards, and it's not a bad thing, but I'm just not always a fan of it. And I feel like this particular compilation, because it is a mashup of a couple of different stories, I feel like it doesn't always work in terms of storytelling. I wish the storytelling was stronger. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I wouldn't say that this is one that's necessary for people to read unless you're like a huge fan of Alex Ross. And that's pretty much it, y'all. Like 3 stars. It's nothing to take home to your mama. The last one that I have is the worst thing that I have ever seen DC create. And it is one that I was extremely disappointed in because I was just curious about what they were doing with this. And it was a huge letdown. So prepare yourself because I'm about to do a rant review. So I read Jurassic League. And this is by Juan Gideon, Daniel Warren Johnson, and Mike Spicer. This is a look at the Justice League, except all of the Justice League members: Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and I know that I am missing some people, but whatever. Think of the Justice League. They're all now dinosaurs. Potentially an interesting concept, but falters in so many ways. Let's start with the names. Wonder Woman is now Wondered On, even though she is a Triceratops. So I was confused about that. Superman is Supersaur, even though he's a Brachiosaurus. I was confused about that. Batman is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he is, I think, Batsaur is his name, which is, I don't know. Green Lantern is, I think, Green Torch, which I'm confused as to what that even has anything to do with dinosaurs. I think Aquaman is Aquanix. I believe that's his name. And so it's just pretty random names, pretty random situations. Essentially, we are following them as they get together as the Justice League. The storytelling in this was awful. The artwork in this was awful. It changes in issue 3. We get a different artist on issue 3. So this is what kind of a piece of what we get in terms of the artwork when we're reading issues 1 and 2. By the time we switch to issue 3, this is what the artwork starts to look like, which is extremely and utterly chaotic. I felt like it didn't make any sense. I wasn't sure why the humans were just kind of used as a backdrop. It was weird. Darkseid became this weird dinosaur as well, who was eating everybody to power himself up, and his name was Darkylocide, which I have an issue with that name, Darkylocide. I have a huge issue with that name. That doesn't sit well with me. So there is a panel that really bothered me, that really just like made me extremely uncomfortable, that I felt like was a little on the verge, not a little. I feel like it was misogynistic. So Darkylocide, which his name, once again, I can't even say it. I think that's just an awkward name to call someone. He says to Wonder Dawn, who is Wonder Woman, who everyone pretty much abandoned. Oh, by the way, everybody abandoned Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman wanted them to come back to where she lived in order to help stop him from killing her family. And everybody made excuses as to why they couldn't help her. So she ends up starting to have to fight Darkylocide. I hate having to say that. She ends up having to fight him by herself. And there is a panel where he says to her, "You have a stout heart warrior. Your body, however, is a disappointment." While he's smacking her. And so I absolutely loathed that. And this is within, I think, either the second to last issue. This is the second to last issue that this happens. And it's a 6-issue series. The way that it ends, it ends on somewhat of a cliffhanger, as if they're insinuating that this could be another there could be more beyond these 6 issues. Honestly, they can keep this. I don't want another 6 issues. If they do come up with this, I will not be reading it. I felt like this was just poor judgment on creating characters because DC has an expansive universe. I know that we've going with Infinite Frontiers and DC now has an unlimited amount of universes that it can have. However, this was not it. This is not what we're looking for, okay? I think that you can go too far when you say unlimited universes, and this is a prime example of it going too far by saying you have unlimited universes. I did not like this at all. At all. From the naming conventions that they use in this made absolutely no sense. The storyline was not that great. I don't understand the human backdrop. I feel like the introduction of Darkseid as this dinosaur and the misogynistic perspective and views that he had when he was interacting with Wonder Woman or Wonder Dawn was absolutely ridiculous. So 1 star, absolute filth, should have stayed in the drafts. 0 out of 0, do not recommend. All right, y'all, so that is it for this week's vlog. I know it's really not much of a vlog, and I apologize, but this week has just been chaotic. But I didn't want to not give you a vlog this week because I do want to be a little bit more consistent on this channel than I have been on my other channel in the past when it comes to weekly vlogs. So let me know in the comments below what you ended up reading for the week. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and I will be back with another vlog next week. Bye!